Good morning. This is a different environment, same house. I just decided to shift the energy of the room so that you could see me a little differently than you normally do. Two things you should notice right away: that I'm still in red and black, so this is a part of the Moving Forward series. But I'm also going to talk about the mindset of money, as I promised I would. How do they tie together, moving forward and money? Everyone talks about money and they talk about it in the most negative light. I wish I had more of it. It's the root of all evil. I think that's our problem. If you want more of something, how are you going to get more of something if all you ever say about it is negative? Oh, I feel sick. You don't want to be more sick, but you say it and suddenly you're sick. So if you talk about being poor or you talk about money being evil, is there any secret why it stays away from you? I'm going to talk about money in a way that I don't know if you've ever heard it talked about before, because I think it's a new concept to me and I'm listening to myself say it. So I know this is going to shift a lot of people's understanding of why they're broke. That word, broken, why they always say, oh, I need a little bit more. And they call people and ask people to help them, to give them money so that they can get out of debt or pay a bill or get a little bit ahead of, relieve the pressure that's under them. Okay? All of this is going to make sense in just a minute. See, I mentioned the other day that money is currency, that it has to flow. Now you can hear that and think, I have to give all my money away. I have to give it away in order for me to have more. That's one way of thinking about currency, but what I'm really saying when I say currency is that between two fixed points, there's energy that transfers. You see it with lightning. You see it if you could see the natural eye. In the natural eye, you would see that as I get closer and closer with my hands, there is actually matter that's being moved. And this energy transfers between this hand and this hand. You can begin to feel yourself coming closer to you the closer you get. Have you ever met someone and as soon as you're in their presence, you feel this draw to them? And when you hug them, you feel this exchange of energy. Some people think it's just the physical intimacy of hugging, but I believe that what's really happening is someone with more resources or the capacity to hold more resources hugs you in a way that literally lifts you up out of the quagmire that you've been in, and that is exactly how you begin to feel better. I believe some of the early ministries, the healers, had that gift in abundance. And so you went to them because you knew they were going to draw out of you the thing that you could not remove yourself. The current that creates money, the energy that creates money. Money does not flow into people who are down and out and broke and disgusted. Now think about it. Why would it? Because I said the other day, the more you get, you have to keep it flowing, because if you don't, then you become blocked. So when I see people who are down and out and they need $2 and they got, I just need to get this little bit of extra money and I'll be able to do this, this, and the other. They're blocked not because they're broke. They're blocked because when they do get the money from you, when the money flows into them, it never leaves them. It never leaves them. It stays in them. They turn it into something that's just myopic and something that's very selfish. And so suddenly, instead of it being able to turn around and do something kinetic and good for someone else, it stops with them. And anytime you flow into someone and it stops with them, it will never flow out of them or possibly ever come back to you. How can it? They needed it for themselves, and they told you that. They told you that straight up front. I need it for this, this, and this. Very specific things. They didn't need it to create a better idea of themselves. They didn't need it to create more wealth. They didn't need it to start a business. If they did anything great with that resource you gave them, there would have been a change in their whole demeanor, and they would have gone on and created something greater. So beware of that. Don't get upset when you see people that didn't do anything with the money you gave them, especially if they told you up front that they weren't going to use it for anything greater. It's okay. Don't be angry at them. Be wiser with yourself, because now you know why what you didn't prosper. That the seed you actually planted wasn't in fertile ground. It was in hardened soil. It was in broken soil. It was in the people who are so down and out that they think the best thing they can ever do for themselves is just relieve themselves of the pain. But they don't do anything to prosper themselves, so they can't be a blessing back to you. So money is a current that flows from one post to another post. What you want to be sure you do with your money is flow into someone who's also flowing into something greater. It doesn't even have to be really, really, really tremendously great. It just has to be the activity of, I want to do more with my life. And that wanting, that desire, creates an energy field that when you flow into that field, the sky's the limit. You don't know where you're going to end up. You don't know how this is going to end up being a blessing back to you. Not because they're going to bless you, but because you're participating in something that's greater than yourself. So, moving forward, here's what I want you to take from today's little 5:30 a.m. chat. I want you to understand that if you give to someone who's only asking for it for selfish reasons, it can't possibly come back to you. If you give to something, some greater cause, to better life on this planet, better our communication between ourselves, you will probably see an uptick in your own life. When you catch yourself doing really, really well, and then a few weeks later you're not, you got to look back over your pattern of giving. You got to look back over how you flowed with the money you had, with the resources you had. And if you flowed into any negative fields, that's exactly what's wrong. That's what you've been feeling. Where did you place your energy? That's the question for you to answer throughout the rest of this week and this weekend. Where am I putting my energy? Who am I flowing into that's just holding on to every good thing that I've given them? Who am I blessing that has multiplied what I gave them? You want to do more of the latter and less of the former. I'm Brother Eden Douglas in Albuquerque, New Mexico, flowing again. I needed about 24 hours to recalibrate myself because I was getting kind of sluggish and I didn't know why. I was like, nothing's changed, but I don't feel myself. I had flowed into some places that I should not have, and as a result, it depleted me. Now I know, now I understand. As I said to you always, I'm the first teacher of all of these lessons. I'm the first student of all these lessons, and before I become the teacher. So, if I've said anything to bless you, if I've given you just another way of thinking about this tangible thing that you call money, that isn't tangible, it's actually a spirit, it's a currency, I hope you tell me so that I know I can keep going and let my mind and my body and my spirit connect. Peace.